Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Xyzal is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Xyzal keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all, take Xyzal. At night.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
So good, so good, so good.
Great gifts for mom? We've got them. And they're up to 60% off at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
You know they have Marc Jacobs?
Gotta show mom some love.
That is so good.
Snag amazing deals on Mother's Day gifts from Barefoot Dreams, Kate Spade New York, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Who are the top inside linebackers from this upcoming NFL draft that the Rams should target in rounds 1, 2, or 3? We'll talk about that next on this off-season draft episode here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. What's going on, Rams Nation? Welcome back to the Rams Up Podcast Network. I'm Ian. That's Mark. Like, subscribe, share this video, share this podcast with all your fellow Rams and football fans out there. We very much appreciate it. Mark, how you doing today, dude?
Pretty good. Ready to talk linebackers?
Yep. Inside linebackers is the topic today, everyone. The position that the Rams don't give a damn about, but we're going to talk about them anyway, as you never know, right? Ernest Jones was the last third, premium round draft pick at inside linebacker for the Rams back in the 2021 campaign, right? I consider round 3 a premium draft pick. Do you as well, Mark?
I'm sorry, do I consider who?
Round 3, a premium draft pick.
Yeah, I think the top 3 rounds. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So definitely that is valuable. And Ernest Jones was a good player until he got traded away for, well, I guess we'll never find out fully. But hey, we got to talk about the guys here today. And this list is not some jumbo list like the wide receivers and other position groups out there where there's a lot of guys worthy of rounds 1, 2, and 3. But I think it's important to remember that this evaluation, this little list that we have here for you today, is based on film, everyone. We are ranking them based on what we saw with our own 2 eyes, not what other people have said, not what mock drafts predict, not what the robots say for PFF and other analytic stuff. It is what we saw with our own 2 eyes. So based on film. And we'll kick it off with a round 1 worthy inside linebacker, in my opinion. And that is, I guess no shock to many if you've been paying attention to this guy, is Jihad Campbell from the University of Alabama. What's some fun facts and stats about him, Mark?
Well, it's interesting. He wears the number 11, huh? That's getting to be a popular number for linebackers in the college ranks, huh? Okay, he's 6'3".
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah. 6'3", 235. He came out of high school as a 5-star recruit, as is another guy on this list. Top 15 prospect. First team all SEC with 117 tackles. Started all 13 games. And he has all the prototypical linebacker measurables and a sideline to sideline guy. just kind of a complete linebacker from what I can see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about his other traits and all the other things he does really, really well, which I think increases his likelihood of maybe being drafted by the Rams with a high pick. But we'll get to that afterwards. Let's talk about his inside linebacker play. That's what we're here to discuss, Rams Nation. And with him, I think it's important to remember that a lot of the modern day linebackers are not these big, superhuman, bulky Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis guys. Not that they don't exist anymore, but it's about speed and agility and how can you cover, how can you run with guys. So keep that in mind with all the dudes we speak here about today. So with that said about Jihad Campbell, let's start with the run defense overall. I think his tackling is excellent, right? When he's able to get your hands or his arms and hands around you, he's bringing you to the ground. So that's a plus, right? Of course. His ability to make those tackles, not necessarily when he's squaring you up in the hole or when you're really close by, but his diving attempts, right? His, I guess you can say, what was the right word for that, Mark? His range, right? What is the range he can get you in? I think that's pretty dang excellent as well. In terms of, getting off blocks right from the inside, avoiding him, being able to put his foot in the ground, be able to take on blocks. I think that's average to good sometimes. It's inconsistent, right? And I think that's something he can work on, right? Bulk up, do that. So it's not perfect in that regard, okay? But I really think his coverage ability, Mark, is excellent, right? Man-to-man is not his thing, and you're not going to ask an inside linebacker to do that. So let's just put that to the side. And the majority of these guys, that's a tough thing to ask for an inside linebacker, right? Zone coverage overall, I think, is good. Not perfect. Nobody's perfect really on the inside. It's hard to be Luke Kuechly level, right, in terms of covering sideline to sideline and playing great in zone. But anything underneath, right, if they're not asking him to drop like Tampa 2, like almost in between linebacker and safety area of the field, anything in his traditional inside linebacker spot, short area stuff, I think is excellent, him ranging around there, right? In terms of making plays on the football, batting them down, I think is excellent. I think it's blitzing when they send him from that inside spot to go attack the quarterback. I think that's excellent as well. And why this guy is round one worthy, in my opinion, is because the dude can line up at the outside like an outside linebacker. Picture like how Jared Verse lines up, how Byron Young, very, very wide, way outside the tight ends. They call it the wide 9, if that makes sense, when you go through all the numbers of where people line up on defense. He's fantastic rushing the passer, Mark. I mean, sincerely, like if he would have just been full-time pass rusher, I mean, he would get drafted, rounds 1, 2, or 3, I think just based off that, in my opinion. So not only does this guy play, really good linebacker on the inside is, what we need an upgrade on. But think of this, Rams Nation. This is important. In our most successful defense this last season, we ran the Cheetah Dime package. The Cheetah meaning we want all our fastest players possible out there on defense. And then the dime part of it means we want 6 DBs also on the field as well. So with that, they took out Christian Roseboom, and they took out Omar Speights. They had no traditional inside linebacker on the field. Who did they put in place of that? Obviously, the 6 DBs. And then they said, okay, Michael Hoyt, you're going to be on the field with Kobe Turner, with Braden Fisk, with Byron Young, and Jared Verse, right? That's part of the Cheetah. They want all the fastest guys possible to go out there and defend the pass and also get the quarterback. And that was our most successful defense. Why? Because Michael Hoyt could rush with all the guys as normal job, right, as our edge rushing outside linebacker. And then you would see a lot of times he would drop into coverage in the middle where an inside linebacker would be. And he did a pretty good job, in my opinion. Not like in previous years where they had him man-to-man with a tight end running back, but just playing zone in that underneath. He did a damn good job. So with that in mind, I mean, Jihad Campbell could absolutely kill it in that role. And that's incredibly valuable to what we do. And then obviously his normal responsibility, say he got drafted by us and he was starting with Omar Speights in our traditional base 3-4 defense, right? When there's not extra safeties and rushers and all that. So with all that said, he is round one worthy. And this would be a fantastic pick at 26 if he's there for the Rams. But less seen in them. They don't value linebackers as Troy Reader's back. And we signed Landman really cheap, and then obviously Omar's undrafted. Roseman was an undrafted starter. Ernest is gone. So, hey, Probably not going to happen just based on the team philosophy in round one. But this is somebody that would fit schematically. Absolutely beautiful, Mark, in Rams Nation.
Yeah, and the question is, I've gotten pushback. I've mocked him to the Rams a couple of times, and I've gotten pushback. He's not going to be there at 26, but you got to keep in mind,
Yeah.
there's three positions that tend to drop in the draft if things go that way: running backs, safeties, linebackers, in my opinion. And if he drops into the low 20s and the Rams really love him, they move up and grab him. But yeah, I'm skeptical that the Rams will use a first round pick on a linebacker. Although I would love this pick if they did.
Yeah, me too. And again, he's more than just an inside linebacker. That's what I'm trying to, I guess, advocate. He's got the moves, he's got the bendiness you talk about, right? Be able to contort your body to get around the offensive tackles and blockers, tight ends, whoever, right? He's got the strength. He's more than just an inside linebacker, which is boosting his value and should boost his value with us as, Les Snead and this, Rams organization. They value people that can get to the quarterback, and this is somebody who could do that. So, hey, the draft can unfold a million different ways. But if he's an option there at 26, depending on who else is there, of course. But this would be definitely worth it at pick 26 for us. He is a round one worthy player, not only for, again, his inside linebacker play, but his capability to go rush the quarterback as an edge guy, blitzing, all of it. I mean, this dude's a baller, man. He's good.
Yeah, and I almost feel like Chris Shula would be pounding the table for him at some point.
Yeah, I mean, look, they have a high grade on him. There's no way they don't. I mean, whether it's round 1 or 2, I mean, who knows? But he should be valued because of that rushing ability. That's really what it is. So, Jihad Campbell, round 1 worthy, and would be a great schematic fit as a 3-down linebacker for the Rams, and somebody that would be a hell of a playmaker, I believe, in this Rams 3-4 scheme. But onward we go, as that is probably unlikely. But hey, you never know. So the next player I have here, Mark, Rams Nation, who I believe is round 2 worthy, is an LA native from the Valley and from UCLA, Carson Schwarzenegger, as he is somebody who I was not super familiar with, but man, I loved his tape. Mark, what are some fun facts and stats about him?
Yeah, 6'2.5" and 242. And so, for some reason, Lance's airline says he's undersized. Maybe it's a typo, but that's what it says. Yeah, he's out of Moore Park. Yeah, 242. I think he might be the biggest linebacker we talk about here. Out of Moore Park, California, first team All-American, a walk-on at UCLA, by the way. He led the FBS with 90 solo tackles, third in the FBS with total tackles, 136, and a team captain, which, the Rams value that. And he had 2 interceptions, and he's considered, despite his size, pretty good in coverage.
Yes, definitely. Let's start with that coverage then. How about that, Rams Nation? So, I think overall, pretty good in coverage. It's not perfect, right? I think he's got a little bit of man-to-man ability, a little bit better than Jihad just in terms of discipline, right? Being able to stay on the hip pocket. But you don't want your inside linebackers doing that from time to time. So, okay, that's a good trait to have. And zone coverage, I think it's good. Could work on it, right? Overall, if he's dropping back a little bit deeper. But underneath, I also think is good, right? Again, anything in that inside linebacker region to short, flats, right? To sideline short. I think he does a pretty dang good job. Blitzing, he's another player that's really good at rushing the quarterback. Not like Jihad Campbell, where you say line up like Jared Verse and go hunt the quarterback. Not like that. But in terms of blitzing from the inside, I think it's good. I think it's really good. Actually, excellent in my opinion. I'm just thinking about it. In terms of the, batting passes and being able to snag some INTs, I think he's got some good hands. He's been able to locate the ball, so that's very good as well. So let's talk about the run defense and all that. So he is somebody who's an excellent tackler that plays with his hair on fire, similar to Campbell, right? This dude has a really, really good knack for reading blocks, in my opinion, and be able to decipher and attack immediately. So let's just say, for example, and this will go for any other player that I talk about afterwards. If you're studying an opponent, you know, okay, when this guard pulls this way, it's going to be this type of run. Let's just go with the flow here. Or you see this lineman double team there and go off. You know, that's all about film study. So his play recognition, he's like, oh, I see that guard's coming to me. Whoop, avoid the block and be able to attack immediately. There's a tons of instances like that where he's totally like, oh, I know you're going to get me, but I'm quicker and faster than you. See you later. They whiff on the block, and he makes a fantastic tackle. It's a valuable skill set. Obviously, that's very film study heavy, but he's still got to be able to physically do it on the field, and he does that a lot. Now, the flip side of that is if he isn't able to avoid the block and he gets, contacted, he's not shedding any blocks. He'll get tossed around sometimes from bigger linemen, right? He'll get bulldozed every now and then. So that is the yang of obviously him recognizing being a good tackler, playing with his hair on fire, and obviously the blitzing stuff that's good too. So he's not a perfect prospect, but that's something, hey, you can get bigger, you can get stronger, you can get better techniques to take on blocks and all that. But overall, what a good traditional inside linebacker he is. Overall, I think if the Rams just say fell in love with him and drafted him in round 2, I would accept that. I'd be cool with that for sure. Now, you can say these things and say, I don't like that he gets blocked if he gets caught up, right? If he doesn't avoid it. You can say, that's more round 3 worthy, and I understand that. But I was just so impressed by his underneath coverage, his blitzing, and then his play recognition and just sure tackling. I think that's very, very valuable. And to me, that's round 2 worthy for an inside linebacker, right? But again, get bigger, get stronger. He can work to be able to hold his own when he's fighting bigger linemen off blocks in the run game. So I really like this tape, Mark. I really, really like this guy.
Yeah, sounds like a future green dot guy for somebody, for some team. And I just love the fact that he went from a walk-on to a team captain. That's pretty impressive. And the dilemma with a lot of the guys, same dilemma with a lot of the guys we've talked about, second round guy, if the Rams cannot get out of that 26 spot, they're really going to have no shot at him. They're not going to take him in the first round, and he'll be gone by their pick in the third round. So back to that trade scenario, and is anybody willing to move up to 26? So love the player. I'm just not convinced we're going to have a realistic shot at him unless Les Snead pulls some trade magic.
Yeah, they would have to really love him. They'd have to, tap into that, LA native style stuff, which they kind of don't do. They don't care about that, which I respect. Do what's best for the team. They don't play that they don't play that local kid card like I think the Cowboys do sometimes with Arkansas and Texas and other spots in the South. But
it's time to rewrite the vacation rules. With Royal Caribbean, your family can look forward to just about anything. Break the thrill barrier, roaring down the tallest water slide in North America. Jump into breathtaking jungles and jaw-dropping coves. Vibe off the charts on our private island Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And end the day knowing things are just getting started. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
He's a good player, man. He's a very good inside linebacker. So round 2 worthy, in my opinion, for him, Rams Nation. But we'll see what happens. I doubt Les Snead and Sean McVay would spend a second-round pick on him, just being realistic, but I do like him a ton. So who is the next player I think is round 3 worthy? And that would be from the University of South Carolina, Demetrius Knight. Round 3 worthy, in my opinion. Mark, what are some fun facts and stats about him?
He comes in at 6'2", 235. He's married and already has 2 children, so I guess we can call him a grown-ass man already.
6-year senior, right? If I remember correctly.
I don't have that. That sounds right, though.
I think so, yeah.
He had 2024 had 3 forced fumbles. He's a cousin of D'Angelo Hall, who was quite the player. They characterize him as just a passionate football player, good instincts, holds up well in the box, and is just kind of an old school, rugged linebacker.
Yes. So we'll start with that then. How about this, the ruggedness that he plays with? And it's true. So with him, definitely more of the, okay, I'm ready to take on blocks and play some smash mouth style football, right? So in terms of run defense, we'll just start with the blocking, how he fights that off. He's very good in contact, being able to shed off a blocker, say, get off me, right? beat the block, whatever you want to call it, whatever your terminology is. He's really good at taking it on as well. So it's not just like impact and be able to get off, but sometimes when a big boy car crash collision is going to happen, he's really good at sticking his ground and not getting moved, which is impressive. I was really impressed. So that's excellent traits for that for sure. Now, if he's getting directly hit sometimes, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to beat you with agility like maybe Jihad Campbell or Carson will from UCLA, right? Where it's like, oh, I can avoid you really good. That's not his game. He's more just brute strength. Like, all right, we're gonna have a collision right now, and he's again good, holding his ground, taking it on, and then be able to just willpower, manpower, shed off of it. I think that's pretty good. In terms of his tackling overall, I think it's good. Maybe not as surefire like Campbell or Carson, but it's still pretty dang good. Now, he's just a strong human being, so he's got full force of power. I mean, this dude lays people out, man. Like, you see the strength, the power on certain tackles. You're like, ooh, that was a crazy hit there. In terms of coverage, though, I think definitely he is do not put him in man-to-man. You're setting yourself up for failure. That is just, he cannot do it at all, in my opinion. Zone coverage overall, I think is average, right? That's something I think that could be worked on for sure. In terms of the underneath stuff, right? Just overall, I mean, obviously you don't want him going deep. He's not really a super fast player. He just something that needs to be worked on. But there's times where he looks excellent, in my opinion. In terms of making plays on the football and INTs, I think pretty good. He's got some good hands, in my opinion. And in terms of being able to, once the ball's being caught by defenders, make a quick tackle, be able to smack it out. I really like that. Blitzing, it's about average. Nothing spectacular, right? He's just an old school, I'm ready to just fight linemen, fight lead blockers, fullbacks, whoever, and make some sick tackles in the run game. And I think it's very, very, very valuable, right? And he's got good burst in the run game, right? Being able to just kind of read and react similar to Carson and others and just boom, kamikaze, be able to hit people. I think it's good. So with him, and you can, right, be able to learn the zone mentality, right? Okay, hey, know where you are on the field. Know what your assignment is in correlation with all your other teammates and what the rules and your keys are in that. I think that can be coached up and improved upon. But his run game stuff is, it's hard to teach that. So with that, Rams Nation, someone that would be a starter with Omar Speights in the middle, but I think you would have to still yank him off for any of the big passing downs, similar to what we did last year with Roseboom and Omar, going that cheetah dime or whatever other form of dime that we're going to end up deploying. But the run game stuff on those early downs, that's very important for us who, got smoked a lot in the run game, and I think he would help out a ton in that. So round 3 worthy, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves those tough linebackers that can just crush people. I'm not sold on the idea that he's going to really help this team that much.
Yeah.
He certainly would help, maybe take some snaps away from Omar Speights as well. I don't know. I still think they need a more rangy linebacker. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, for sure. And again, all these things could be approved upon, right? Like Omar ended up being a really good player as an undrafted guy. I mean, we just keep finding undrafted guys, so that's probably why none of these guys will be selected by us.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know. You never know. Things happen. Who would have thought Ernest Jones would have been on that card, speaking of South Carolina, and ended up being a hell of a good player for us for a good little while. But my final player, Mark, Rams Nation, who I think is rounds 1, 2, or 3 worthy at inside linebacker, would be another Georgia Bulldog, and that would be Smile Mondon Jr. from the University of Georgia. Mark, what are some fun facts and stats about this round 3 worthy player?
Yeah, 6'2", 224. He's another 5-star recruit coming out of high school, a top 30 recruit overall. And he's got quite a resume. First year, he played Georgia Special Teams. That was a national championship team. Sophomore, led the team with 76 tackles. Junior season, another 68 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks. And then he comes back for his senior year. He missed the first 4 games, still got in 8 games and had 57 tackles. So, just vast experience. And remember, this is Georgia, so he has a ton of experience in big-time games against big-time competition.
Yes, most definitely. And with him, Rams Nation, we'll start with the run defense stuff, okay? Definitely something where I feel like he could bulk up more and get a little bit better, right? In terms of taking on blocks, I think it's average, truthfully. In terms of avoiding it if he can, I think it's of average to below average. It's really not fantastic. In terms of being able to just physically take it on, I think it's not good. Sometimes he'll get blown up, in my opinion, sincerely. So you say, all right, Ian, what's up with that? But his tackling is excellent. His range to be able to just, if you're in the vicinity, he's getting you. It's fantastic. In terms of coverage, though, I think this is where it gets pretty dang interesting. This dude can run some man-to-man coverage, which I think was very, very, very interesting to see on film. And he can run around with some guys and stay on people's hip pockets, which is kind of shocking, right? That's something that a lot of inside linebackers, only a few of them, can be able to do. And I thought he did that at a very high level there at Georgia, right? In terms of zone coverage overall underneath, I think that was average, to be honest with you. But I think that could be coached up out of him. In terms of blitzing, I thought he was pretty good at that too. And overall with this guy, he's got the big body, he's got the movement skills and speed and the range, right? All these other things I think could be very, very coached up, could be very I guess weight room heavy to be able to get the body a little bit stronger and bigger. But I think he would be someone that you would take a chance on in round 3, and he would end up turning into a one hell of a overall inside linebacker for the team here. So he'd be somebody that you could keep there on third down, right? Instead of yanking him out, maybe like some of the other guys we talked about. That'd be somebody that you can say, hey, we're going to leave you in there in that cheetah dime package, and you can blitz. You're fast enough to run around, play some good zone, right? When he gets coached up about his surroundings in zone, right? Your assignment, where you're on the field in relation to your teammates and their responsibilities in tandem with yours. I think all these things the Rams would coach him up in. And again, it's hard. It's hard to get guys that have the big body that can run around fast and have that silent speed and agility. So I think this is somebody who's round 3 worthy, in my opinion. And, Lesney likes these Georgia Bulldogs. So I think this is somebody who could be very much a possibility in round 3 for the Rams, Mark.
Okay, so 6'2", 224, really good in coverage. I mean, I can't help but ask, is he a potential fill-in at the star position?
At the start?
Yeah.
That would be too much.
Yeah.
With these receivers in the modern NFL, for a player his size and build, I mean, these slot guys are just so quick and agile. You need some type of DB guy to be able to do it. And not saying like in a pinch, if you had to go out wide and do something, would he just be like just a complete liability? Absolutely not. But for the star, I mean, we need some type of safety or corner. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting any inside guy, any linebacker guy out there in a pinch. It would just, it's just too much. It's too much to guard a slot guy as a linebacker.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, Rams Nation, a short little list, not too long. All the other guys I know, look, I know a lot of people will be like, where is Chris Paul Jr.? Where is Cody Simmon from Ohio? Where is Danny Stuntsman from Oklahoma? And whoever else I'm blanking on. Look, not that those players couldn't play football on them, but all those guys have more flaws than what I would like, in terms of spending a premium draft pick, right? Rounds 1, 2, or 3. So those guys did not make this little list here. And I still would take Chris Paul later in the draft, right? A day 3, round 4, round 5, which I think will probably go in round 4, truthfully. And any of those guys could still end up going in round 3. But just for what I saw on film and my, what I like, and I guess what I, saw my own 2 eyes, I'm just like, I wouldn't feel good about spending, a premium round 3 or higher pick on a Chris Paul, a Cody, a Danny, who was a Clemson guy, Carter. I just can't do that, just based on what I saw, Mark.
Now, did you address Jalen Walker at the top here? As a lot of sites have him listed as a linebacker. You see him as strictly edge, though, right?
Yeah. So with Jalen Walker, another Georgia Bulldog, I mean, let's just be real about it, Rams Nation. His inside linebacker play is what? Is average, maybe, right? He's definitely made more of his bread and butter as rushing, as a pass rusher off the edge. And even that still needs polish, in my opinion. I don't think that he's round one worthy anyway, based off his edge rushing stuff from what I've been watching. So I do not include Jalen Walker as an inside linebacker because I don't think the film is good enough for that to be justifiable in rounds 1, 2, or 3 anyway. So no, did not include him, and is not going to be on this list, obviously. So
just trying to
hey,
squash some of the questions that are going to pop up. Where is Jalen Walker? And that's why he's not here.
No, Jalen Walker is more of an edge guy, but could he play inside? Sure he did at college level, but I wasn't too impressed with this film there, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I was not. But yeah, Mark, Rams Nation, small little group that I think are worth any premium draft picks, but you can even argue that the last two guys could probably slip into round 4. But I think, again, no doubt about it, one more time, Jihad Campbell makes the most sense for a gazillion different reasons. Inside linebacker play, edge rushing ability, and then Carson Schwarzenegger from UCLA if you want a good, strong, agile, do-it-all inside linebacker guy. I think those two guys would be my top 2 choices. And then Demetrius Knight, round 3 worthy. Could see him slipping around 4 if you don't like his, the negative stuff about him. And then Smael Mondon, round 3 worthy in my opinion, but could easily see him slipping in round 4 too if you didn't like some of the negative stuff about him as well. But man, we shall see. Who knows? We'll probably get another undrafted guy from some school and end up being really good. Again, that's just how it seems to be with the Rams, and they do a hell of a damn good job of doing that. Omar Spates, Christian Roseboom, Troy Reader. Look, let's be real. He had some good moments during that Super Bowl season. You had Corey Littleton, others that I'm blanking on. Mark Barron converted from a safety to inside linebacker. I mean, they've done it so many unconventional ways over the years in this McVay-McSnead tandem that any of these guys being drafted would be welcomed, but would also be a shock, in my opinion, just based on the team philosophy.
Yeah, and you got this deep draft of tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and I can just see it. I can just see it unfolding in the draft room. McVay just salivating, and Chris Shula going, "What the hell? I need linebackers," and then they draft the tight end or the wide receiver or the running back.
Yeah, at the end of the day, let's all be real. McVay has final say over a draft pick. If he proves it, then cool. But if he's like, we need this offensive guy, then they're going to go with what the head coach wants. And it's not really reported on, but I mean, there's been plenty of hints and tidbits over the years that is the case. I'm not mad about it. It's worked out pretty dang good for the last 8 years, now going on 9 in this McSnead era. But
yeah,
that'll do it, Rams Nation. It's crazy, man. Linebackers.
Yeah, hey, it's a Rams tradition to neglect the linebacker position. We've had a lot of pretty good linebackers over the year, a couple of great ones, but it's just we just don't do linebackers well, and that may continue.
No, that's crazy. I know, man. But Rams Nation, let me know in the comment section wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube if you're tuning in here on there as well. What linebacker would you like to see the Rams take in rounds 1, 2, or 3? Any guys we talked about here today? Is there anybody else that we did not talk about today? Or are you just in the notion where you're going to follow the McSnead way of linebacker and say, no, we'll get some undrafted guy? Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comment section. But that'll do it here on this ranking of inside linebackers. Man, Mark, I'm excited for the draft.
It's going to be fun. Going to be fun.
Going to be fun for sure. But Rams Nation, like, subscribe, share this video, share this podcast with all your fellow Rams and football fans out there. That'll do it here. I'm Ian. That's Mark. Thanks for tuning in on this off-season draft episode here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. And never forget, baby, go Rams.